Hollywood legend Jodie Foster looks different today. She changed unexpectedly over time. As she nears 70, her change is stunning. Stay tuned. What we'll reveal may surprise you. The rising prodigy. Jodie Foster was born Alicia Christian Foster in Los Angeles on November 19, 1962. She was the youngest of 4 children raised by Evelyn Brandy Foster, who shaped her career. Brandy was an entertainment industry veteran as a film producer and publicist. Jodie was immersed in show industry from childhood. But unlike many kids thrust into the spotlight, Jodie seemed to have a natural gift and strong mind. At 3 years old, Jodie entered the entertainment profession. Her first job was TV ads. She played the little girl whose swimsuit bottom a puppy pulls down in a Coppertone ad, her first notable role. One of the most renowned adverts of the period. Jodie was special from an early age. Casting directors noted her seriousness and maturity. Her mother quickly recognized Jodie was cute, smart, and could follow directions better than most adults. Jodie soon got more employment. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, she featured in scores of advertisements and guest parts on Mayberry RFD, Eddie's Father's Courtship, and Bonanza. Her acts were natural and polished. She was 8 or 9 and had a solid CV. Work-school balance may be difficult for most Hollywood kids. One way the financial industry has done this is through the movies. Jodie differed. She learned French at the Lycée Français de Los Angeles. Despite working, she did her homework on set. Jodie Foster played the role that changed her life and made her famous age 12. Scorsese directed Taxi Driver. She played 12-year-old child prostitute Iris, who falls for Travis Bickle, played by Robert De Niro. The picture was well received but controversial due to Jodie's age and explicit content. The kid actor's stunning part sparked a nationwide debate regarding child performance in Hollywood. Jodie was safeguarded behind the scenes. A child psychologist monitored her emotional well-being while filming. In sensitive sequences, her older sister Connie played her body duplicate. However, many attacked the film and questioned whether Jodie should have played such a role. However, Jodie later indicated she understood the position and felt comfortable. She was thinking about the character and the story, not just performing. A Best Supporting Actress. Oscar nomination followed her performance. She showed she was more than a child star. Jodie had established herself as one of Hollywood's most outstanding young performers by the time other kids her age were discovering their tastes. Her unconventional childhood was filled of purpose. She proved that young people could be smart, skillful, and strong. What followed demonstrated her bravery and genius. The Hinckley Incident. Even though Jodie Foster had nothing to do with it, something happened in 1981 that changed her life. John Hinckley Jr. attempted to kill U.S. President Reagan. The gunfire injured Reagan and 3 people. A stunning and terrifying time in American history. Hinckley's motive made it extra odd. He claimed he did it to impress Jodie Foster. Jodie was 18 and a Yale freshman. Hinckley became captivated with her after seeing Taxi Driver, in which she played a juvenile prostitute. In that film, Robert De Niro's character fights to save her. Hinckley associated with De Niro's role and thought doing something radical in public would catch Jodie's attention. This thought became his pathological preoccupation. College, since all the subjects I'm doing are only offered in American institutions, not high schools. He followed her, wrote her, and called her Yale dorm room. She never replied to him and had no contact with him. The FBI discovered Hinckley's Jodie-related notes and journals after his arrest. His writings were frightening, incorporating celebrity and closeness desires. The media went crazy when he tried to kill the president because he loved Jodie Foster. Yale's campus was flooded with reporters seeking statements, interviews, and even a photo of her. A major national story thrust Jodie into the center. This would have overwhelmed anyone, especially a teen, trying to enjoy college. But Jodie didn't worry. She was quiet and knowledgeable. She remained silent to the press. She didn't give interviews or acknowledge attention. Many expected her to speak out, but she didn't. Some wondered why she was quiet, but it protected her. She refused to escalate the issue. Her Yale studies were her priority. Literature major, she did well in class. Later, educators and students remarked she was quiet but clever and handled everything maturely. She moved forward instead of hiding or letting the media destroy her experience. Real emotional toll. Jodie acknowledged in later interviews that the situation was upsetting and puzzling, but she didn't show it. A young woman attempting to live a regular life was abruptly tied to a violent crime she didn't commit. Her experience made her more reserved and cautious. After learning that popularity may bring unwanted attention, she became very protective of her personal life. Her career's most powerful performances were soon to follow. Ivy years. Jodie Foster handled fame and growing up differently than typical Hollywood child stars. After becoming famous for her early acting appearances, including Taxi Driver, she made a startling choice. In her teens, she focused on a top-notch education rather than Hollywood. A special part from Lee Cowan's interview with Jodie Foster follows. Anything only visible here. That decision demonstrated her seriousness and thoughtfulness even as a child. Jodie Foster entered Yale University, a top Ivy League school, in 1980. For a famous entertainer, it was a risky move. Literature was her Yale major. She always loved reading and writing, and books let her explore human emotions, deeper stories and culture than acting alone. Her experience at Yale went beyond academics. Her life balance was also important. Yale made her feel normal. Despite the Hinckley event attracting negative public attention to her freshman year, she continued her study. She focused on her goals despite celebrity. Instead, she kept a quiet profile and became respected by her professors and students for her brilliance and diligence. Jodie Foster was more than bookish. Her passions were languages and civilizations. She attended the Lycée Français de Los Angeles as a child, where all classes were in French. Because of this, she learned French early on and loved French culture, literature, and film. Over the years, she has acted in French films and dubbed her English movies into French. She became more than an actor through her schooling. It taught her to think critically, study characters, and choose parts carefully. Jodie sought meaningful roles while other young actors sought celebrity or money. She wanted meaningful stories. Literature gave her a solid basis. He mentored me. I'd made many movies, but he took me up from my hotel. She understood character development, story organization, and script power. Jodie Foster earned honors from Yale in 1985. She excelled in school. Her education revealed she was more than a child celebrity. She was serious, educated, and clever with a clear goal. After learning everything, she'd rule Hollywood in a new way. She reinvents herself in Hollywood. Jodie Foster returned to Hollywood with renewed emphasis after graduating from Yale with honors in 1985. Her childhood star status has changed. Young woman with strong mentality, a top-notch education, and a definite future. Many young performers struggle to transition into adult parts, but Jodie was determined to take charge of her career and display her true potential. Jodie took a career-defining risk 3 years after graduating from college. She starred in the 1988 courtroom drama The Accused, based on a real case. On screen, she played Sarah Tobias, a young woman who suffers a brutal sexual assault and fights for justice in a system that doesn't believe her. It was a challenging and emotional part that many actresses were wary of. But Jodie didn't hesitate. She trusted the tale and its message. Her raw, gutsy performance moved deeply. Critics complimented her for tackling a difficult job with all her heart. She received her first Academy Award for Best Actress that year. A turning point. Jodie showed her force and talent in her role. She could carry a film and play difficult characters. Her next hard and memorable performance was in The Silence of the Lambs in 1991. That film starred her as Clarice Starling, a young FBI trainee who interviews Anthony Hopkins' brilliant but scary serial killer, Dr. Hannibal Lecter. The picture was thrilling and psychologically twisty. Jodie excelled again. Clarice went beyond smart. Strong, bold, and human she was. She became one of film's most renowned female leads. Silence of the Lambs was very successful. Best Picture, Director, Actor, and Actress were among its 5 Academy Awards. Foster won her second Oscar. She was a venerated Hollywood actress by then, but she continued. Always, Jodie wanted to do more than act. She wants to tell stories from scratch. Egg Pictures, her production firm, was started in the early 1990s. This let her make films she believed in, meaningful stories that large studios rarely made. She supported originality and creative risk-taking. Egg Pictures helped Jodie become a producer and director. Her debut film, Little Man Tate, was directed and starred in 1991. The film follows a child prodigy and his single mother as they navigate the hurdles of being smart in a world that doesn't always value intelligence. Jodie's passionate film showcased her strong voice behind the camera. The film is intellectual, and an emotional side equally divided. She directed additional films like Home for the Holidays, a touching and funny family drama. These weren't blockbusters, but they were well-made and emotional. Jodie hadn't chased box office. She prioritized quality. She picked meaningful roles in acting, directing, and producing. Because she never rushed, Jodie Foster transitioned well from kid celebrity to serious adult actor. She chose her roles carefully. Despite considerable income and prestige, she rejected several screenplays that didn't feel right. She desired meaning in her job. This helped her develop a respectable career, not just popularity. She was also one of the few Hollywood women with creative authority over her films. Founding Egg Pictures let her tell her own narrative. She didn't need permission. She got things done her way. She became a role model for film industry women who wanted more than performing parts. Over time, Jodie played fewer roles but remained active behind the scenes. She became more focused on directing and noted for her brilliance, creativity, and leadership. She chose film and television projects that fit her principles and artistic aspirations. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, Jodie Foster had modified her appearance. She was more than a talented kid star or Oscar-winning actor. She directed, produced, and was a visionary creator. Her honesty and dedication to her work gained her respect from viewers and the business. Next, we'll see how she maintained her focus while developing a quiet but meaningful personal life. Parenting, privacy, and coming out. Jodie Foster is known for her skill and staunch personal life protection throughout her career. In an industry where celebrities live in the spotlight, she chose otherwise. Jodie separated work and personal life from the start. She rarely interviewed, avoided gossip magazines, and shunned social media. Not because she was hiding anything, because she valued a real, safe existence. Jodie's early fame may have fueled her seclusion needs. She was in the spotlight since age 3 and had experienced the strains of fame. Later, the Hinckley incident in college showed her how deadly attention could be. She became even more protective afterward. Personal relationships were rarely discussed, and she didn't discuss her life outside of performing and directing. Although this intrigued the media, she maintained her boundaries. Motherhood is one of Jodie Foster's most intimate roles. She has 2 boys, Charles and Kit, born 1998 and 2001. Jodie raised her children outside Hollywood and has never revealed their biological father. She said she wanted her children to grow up without cameras and pressure. She would walk them to school, attend their sports games, and do all the things parents do without fuss. She worked hard to raise her sons with little public exposure. Public curiosity regarding Jodie Foster's sexuality lasted years. She refused to answer rumors or questions, claiming her private life was private. In 2013, during her Cecil B. DeMille Award acceptance speech at the Golden Globes, she finally addressed the topic honestly, emotionally, and on her own terms. Her speech wasn't a conventional debut. It was an impactful message about identity, independence, and privacy. She explained that she had came out to her loved ones a millennium ago and asked why public disclosures were needed. She honored Sydney Bernard, her longtime companion and child-rearing partner. She spoke with humor, earnestness, and reflection. It wasn't simply being LGBTQ+, being a human who wished to live honestly and discreetly. Many praised her boldness that night, but others were astonished by her tone. Some expected a simpler announcement, but she made a meaningful one. She reminded everyone that people are not headlines or sound bites. They are complex, private people. His speech became one of the evening's most talked-about events, sparking global discussions about coming out, especially for famous figures. Years later, Jodie married actress and photographer Alexandra Hedison in 2014. Photography and acting are Hedison's creative outlets. The two women live a tranquil, supportive existence away from Hollywood scandal. Not much is known about them, yet they routinely appear together at film festivals and award events. Respect and knowledge of personal space underpin their partnership. Jodie Foster is respected in the LGBTQ+ community after coming out, because she has lived her truth with quiet strength, not because she's loud or in the spotlight. She waited before speaking out or making big claims.